Hello and welcome to this edition of Healthy Habits. I'm your host, Amy Davis. Today our guest is Lori Steele. Lori is a private yoga instructor and the owner of Steele Yoga. Lori, hello and welcome. It's so great to have you here as always.
Thanks for having me back again.
Of course. Today Lori is going to show us some poses that will improve posture. These poses are both easy to do. You can do them from the convenience of your home and they're perfect for beginners. Lori, could you first start off by telling us a little bit about the correlation between yoga and posture, and also why our posture over time gets kind of out of whack?
Well, we spend so much time on the computer, driving, picking up, doing a lot of heavy lifting, whether it's physical labor or just picking up the kids, that our shoulders and our posture just kind of take the brunt of it, and we end up like this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
sort of slouching,
just slouching, and just hanging out. So the poses we're going to work through today are going to help broaden the chest. They're going to help relax the neck a little bit, strengthen the back, which is really important, and also engage the core. And those are all things that work together to help keep you out of the whole Slumpville.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want Slumpville.
No Slumpville.
Great. So what are we going to start with? What's our first pose?
Well, the best pose to learn how to stand properly is mountain pose.
Right.
And it just looks like you're standing, but once we work through every little muscle that's going to be engaged, you're going to feel it and you're going to start to understand how the spine naturally works and how to get back to your normal spine state.
So we can assess our posture literally just by standing.
Exactly.
All right, great. Let's go.
So you've got feet hip distance apart.
All right.
And you go ahead and push your feet into the mat. So you push the feet into the mat. Push the feet into the mat, nice, and then hug the outer shins in.
All
so
right.
if you imagine like you've got a grapefruit, you're trying to roll up from the
Okay.
ankle all the way up to the shin, so it kind of hugs in and the arches of the feet lift. Nice. Then you want to lift up the kneecaps. So it just means you're engaging these quadriceps, so just lift the kneecaps. Nice. And then you want to take the tailbone down towards the heels.
So you
And
sort
then-
of push in a little.
And then pull the belly in and up. So this goes down, that goes up. Now reach your hand straight out to the side, just like this. And then allow the shoulders just to draw back by using these little muscles right between the shoulder blades. You just squeeze right here. And then from there, see how your ribs popped out?
Mm-hmm.
Use the belly to soften the ribs back down, but keep the chest lifted. So now all of a sudden you're doing like a crunch.
This is hard.
Yeah.
Really, it's a lot going on.
And then reach through the fingertips even more. And you're gonna reach up to the crown of the head. Oh, your posture looks fantastic. And we're gonna add one more little thing.
One more thing.
Go ahead and release that. We're just
Okay.
gonna place this block right between the thighs.
All right.
So you're gonna see how much your legs and your outer hips actually have to work. So now again, lift ground into the feet,
Okay.
lift up the kneecaps, tailbone down, navel in, and then again reach to the fingertips. Reach them straight down to the
Shoulders
side,
back,
shoulders
right?
back, but don't let the ribs pop out to engage the core. Now squeeze the block with the inner thighs. You see how that engages
Yes.
the belly? So you're just getting a core workout. Posture looks fantastic.
Just
And
need to
then-
go get a block.
There you go. And then you just want to stay here for maybe 10, 20, 15 breaths and just keep working the thighs and everything. Now this obviously, if you're wanting to try to work on your posture, you may not have a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So this, I've got an option with this that you can actually do while you're in line at Starbucks or the grocery store. It's basically, you're just gonna stand, and I can show you here, the standing, and you're gonna bend the knees slightly, and you're gonna take the calves and imagine you're trying to root them down into the floor.
All right.
And then
So you're
from
still
there-
slightly bent.
Slightly bent, and then from there push into the feet,
Ah.
and then root the calves down even more, and then pull the belly in, and you can just hang out at Starbucks while
So if you're in
line.
line, you can just sort of do this while you're
So
waiting
it's
for your
helping to
coffee.
release the low back, engage the core, and then you don't have to do this whole thing. But that
Yeah,
really
you're
helps
not. You
to-
don't want to do this in line at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Great.
Unless you don't want to touch the person next to you.
Personal space.
My space. Perfect.
Great.
right.
What's next?
Next is we're going to do Sphinx pose and Cobra. So come onto our bellies.
All right.
So
You don't
is
need
great.
this?
Not yet.
Okay.
So this one is great for broadening again through the chest and releasing the neck. So you're gonna just lay on your stomach and make sure that your elbows are directly underneath the shoulders. And then you wanna make sure that everything's in line. So wrists, elbows, and shoulders all in line. You're gonna spread through the fingertips and then push into the elbows to kind of lift yourself up.
Okay.
Nice, now take the tops of the feet, press them into the mat. Again, so tops of the feet.
Oh,
to
got
the
it.
toes. Yep, and then lift the kneecaps here so the legs engage. And then you want to imagine that you're just dragging yourself between your hands without moving your arms. It's like an isometric pull. So you want to take the elbows, pull them back, and then pull yourself forward, but keep pressing the tops of the feet into the mat.
Am I doing it right?
Yep, and then just take your chin down a little bit so you can actually release the neck. So you should feel that the shoulders are spreading wide back. Keep pressing into the hands. Just spreading wide here, and you can feel all the muscles all along the
Right.
back engaging. So this is gonna help kind of retrain the muscles that this is the proper way that they need to be engaged because they're working here.
I feel it.
Nice. And then from there, so we do that one first to kind of get this whole action. Then you're gonna bring the hands by the low ribs. Do the same things with the legs, so press the tops of the feet in, lift the kneecaps. You're gonna take the elbows, squeeze them in. And then you're gonna take the shoulders, roll them back and down. And then you're gonna try to, again, drag yourself forward. So pulling the heels of the hands towards the feet, just pulling it up. Nice. And then keep lifting with the chest, but press the tops of the legs into the same thing. It's just getting a little bit more into the low back to help strengthen that and strengthening these shoulders, pulling it back.
Gonna get me buff.
Yep, and then you can release it down. Nice. All right,
It's harder than it looks.
yeah, so that's really cool for broadening across the chest and strengthening the back as well. And then we're gonna do one more.
All
so
right.
just hand me the block.
Of course. Do I need one too?
You need one as well.
All right.
It's gonna come onto your knees, and you're gonna place the block between the ankles, and then just gonna sit back down on it. Now, if you have knee issues, obviously you wanna continue to lift up your sit bone, so you're sitting up a little higher. And then if you're having, if you can't quite get the tops of the feet onto the floor, and you just wanna take a towel and kind of place it right underneath here so everything's supported. So this is a great pose just to kind of help, again, re-engage your posture, because it's really hard to slump when you have to kind of balance and sit up on a block. So all we do is just gonna sit here, bring your hands onto the thighs, and you wanna pull the belly in and release the hips down. So pull the belly in, and it's the same thing with mountain pose. Just use those little muscles right between the shoulder blades to draw the shoulders back. And just sit here, and now the low ribs popped out, so pull those back in. And so it's like this little dance between shoulders back, ribs in, shoulders
You're
back,
constantly having to be
ribs in. And then just sit up to the
cognizant.
crown of the head. Yep, and just hang out here. And then an option for this, if you're driving, you can actually do this while you're stopped at a stoplight, of course. You just,
so we're not texting.
yes, so you're not
Good.
texting. So that's actually a good option
Yeah.
to do. Let's just practice that. So say you have your hands on your steering wheel. Great, so you're again, engage the belly, pull the navel in, and then low ribs in, and there's a tiny little squeeze between the shoulder blades, and then you release it.
Feels
And a tiny
actually
little
really good.
Squeeze between the shoulder blades, and then release it. Tiny squeeze between the shoulder blades and release it. So what we're doing is actually strengthening our rhomboids, which are the muscles right between our scapula, between the shoulder blades here. And when we're always going forward, they're so overextended and stretched. So what we're needing to do to keep our shoulders back is just retraining muscles. So it's the teeniest little motion.
Thank you so much, Lori. You rock. Those poses were amazing. I know that almost everybody is going to benefit from what you just showed us. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for being here with us. It's always awesome to work with you and learn
Thanks for
from
having
you.
me.
Of course. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Healthy Habits. We'll see you next time.
Namaste.